what's up, I'm Zoe, and today I thought that it would be really fun to do mid-year freakout tag. Okay, so this is my first year, obviously, being able to do the mid-year freakout tag. This reading year has not per se been the best, but we're gonna do it anyway because why not? The best book that I read this year. We have to keep it very, very real on this channel, and honestly, probably the best book I've read so far this year would be It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. This book is, there's a lot going on. Many trigger warnings. Do not be like me and ignore them or not think to look into them. Would I recommend this book? Probably not, just because I feel like the topics that are discussed in here are very heavy, but I do think that it was a really great read for me personally, and a lot of the things that were discussed, a lot of the thoughts I related to. That is why it is probably going to be my best book of the year so far. The best sequel that I read this year, Heartstopper Volume 4. I absolutely adore this graphic novel series, and being able to finally get my hands on the fourth one was just amazing. It ended on such a great note. I love that we also got to see kind of like a future glimpse of Nick and Charlie, and it just felt even better because the show came out on Netflix this year and I binge watched that, which was amazing. So I was just in all of the Heartstopper moods this year, and so it was definitely a highlight. A new release that I really want to read this year, Dating Dr. Dill. I have heard many people rave about this book, so I need to see what it's about, obviously, and I actually own it this time. So my most anticipated for the second half of the year, for the first time in this video, I actually have two answers for this question. It's definitely Babel by R.F. Kuang. I adore R.F. Kuang's writing. Even though I've only read one book, I already know she's just going to deliver. I am so excited for this story. I don't know much about it, but just the vibes that I'm feeling from the cover and the descriptions that I've seen so far are so good, and I can't wait to get my hands on my copy. I pre-ordered it months ago, so when August comes around, I will be a very happy camper. And the other book that I'm really, really excited about is the fifth Truly Devious book. Anyone who knows me knows that I love the Truly Devious series, so I really cannot wait to get my hands on that book. I would love if I could get an ARC for it, but when I tried to get the ARC for the book last year, I did not get it, unfortunately. But maybe my luck will be better this year and I'll be able to get my hands on it and I can read it early. I would be so exciting. But either way, I'm gonna buy the book and I'm gonna read it, and it's gonna be amazing. Biggest surprise, I don't really have one, but I guess if I had to pick, it would probably be The Wedding Season. This year I have been getting so many arcs that have been related to weddings and like getting married in different books. So I really didn't expect this one to be a lot better than the other ones that I've read because they've been very miss for me this year. But this one, The Wedding Season, I loved it. I finished it in one night. I was obsessed. I loved our main protagonist. I loved the pairing. I just loved the conversations with friends and family and all of those relationships and dynamics. It was just so good. I really want to buy this book and own a copy of it. So I do not have a new favorite author. I have not read enough backlog of enough authors that I read this year to even be able to say that they're a new favorite author. No one really left that big of an impression on me in that way, but hopefully maybe by the end of the year I will have an answer for that one. Fictional crush. I feel like it takes a lot to be a fictional crush for me, and I have not met anyone this year so far who has met my standards. So there are no new fictional crushes. So again, I don't think I have a book that actually made me cry. I will say that It Ends With Us was very emotional, and I think if I was the crying type, I probably would have cried reading this one. It definitely shocked me the most and made me more reflective on everything. And it also had more of a personal connection for me, so probably this one is the closest I got to crying and having tears and things like that. So book that made you happy. There were quite a few that made me happy. Like, I really loved reading Spy Family this year. I really loved reading Sweat and Soap this year, which are both manga series that I have been following since last year. Really loved them. I also really loved, as I said, The Wedding Season. That one was so good. I also I feel like there was other things that I read that I really loved, but I can't think of them right now. There weren't too many 5-star reads this year, so you can only imagine. I don't really have many books that are like the special editions or like Fairy Loot exclusive. I do have one that I think is one of the more memorable covers. Funny you should ask. I think everyone knows this cover. It's just so different in comparison to the basic cartoon covers that we've been getting lately with like romance and things like that. So I think it just was memorable and really just stood out. It was just like, as soon as I saw it on my feed on TikTok, I was like, wait a second, what is that book? I didn't even think it was romance or like had anything to do with that at first. I hear that the lead is like based off of Chris Evans, which will make this reading experience even better. There are books that you need to read before the end of the year. Pretty much every single book on my physical TBR and all of the arcs that I have piling up on NetGalley, they definitely need to be read. But the top priority for me this year would definitely be The Dragon Republic by R.F. Kuang. Listen, this book has been on my list for the longest time and I just have not gotten to it. I don't know what my problem is. I feel like I've waited so long to finally finish it. Like, I'm literally probably 40% into this book anyways. Like, I'm almost to the halfway point, which means I'm almost there. I've waited so long that I might not have the magic that I had when I read The Poppy War. This will be read this year, I promise. It's happening. That was my very real, very to the point, very quick mid-year freakout tag. Is it really freaking out though? Am I like hyped? Not really. I feel like the beginning of my reading year has definitely been very, you know, and I guess that's what I kind of get for always letting my book choices be led by what's available on Libby, because I just get bored and then I'm like, hey, I'll just read whatever is available, and what's available is usually the most random books and they're not ones I'm per se interested in, but they do leave an impression. But I am really happy that I was able to participate this year, even with the list that I have. Hopefully by the end of the year, I will have a lot more standouts to tell you about and rave about. That is everything. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, subscribe, leave comments, and that is everything. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!
Only living the dreams, baby. What can I do when I'm